So you're interested in about the serial numbers to the print quality, print run. Let's take a look at that. Hi, welcome to my channel, The Magical Ink. Let's dive right into it. So I went to about 3 local game stores, and in these 3 local game stores, the serial numbers were just kind of all over the place. Here's 2 booster boxes from 2 different stores, and you can tell that they're clearly different in terms of the serial number right here. Everything from this side of the board belongs to this box. Everything from this side of the board belongs to this box right here. And we'll talk about some of the differences. So first, let's talk about the overall box. The overall box, in my personal opinion, does not really change in terms of print quality, in terms of color, in terms of any of that. These boxes honestly feel like they're the exact same boxes, you know, thickness-wise, quality-wise, everything. There is one difference. The one that is the 0034, this pull tab, basically don't even consider that that's there. I tried ripping it off and like it was so glued shut down here where you're actually supposed to pull off. It just didn't even work for that. This one worked more as I would expect it. It came off a little bit easier. It actually stayed together, which is the most important thing with the pull tab, because with this one you just rip a little bit of it and it fell off. So it was kind of a little bit of a pain to open this box. I will say that this series right here, this manufacturer with the 00 series, they just use a 4-digit code to kind of indicate, I guess, whichever line or whichever day or whatever like that was on there. The 0054 is a known dud series. 0094 is also a known dud series. When I say dud series, I mean that potentially when you open up the entire case, you will not get any legendaries at all. That's really alarming. You're spending a lot of money. A case is not cheap. So that's a lot of money to not really get any. So if you get anything with the 0054, 0094, I would just wait for the next wave. If you had to, try to not to get it. I just wouldn't recommend it. This one is more in line with Rise of the Floodborn, the first chapter that we've been seeing up until now. It has more of it's pretty much a date of manufacture, like 013124. So that means it's January 31st, 2024 that this was manufactured with the MPG series right there. And I like that because it shows you like when it was manufactured. You know exactly which print run you're going to get on that one. This one's a little bit probably, you might have to backwards internet engineer this one. Okay, so between the two, they feel exactly the same. I will say that this one is printed on the box. This is physically printed on the box, whereas this is kind of a cheapo sticker that they kind of just lopped on top. Okay, so back to this one right here. Let's talk about these insert cards. These are the 2 cards in every single one of the booster packs. There is a substantial difference between these two because the one that is in the 0034 series does not have cut corners, right? These are actually just 90-degree angle corners, whereas this one has rounded corners on it from this manufacturer. So rounded goes over here, square goes over here. You can also tell too, if you look very closely on here, there's like these little residual nubs on here and here, indicating that these were perforated at some point and they kind of detached from that point. These feel more along the lines of actual physical cards being cut. So if I were to guess, and I'm not a production person, but if I were to guess, I would assume this one costs more to make, and it's probably harder to make, whereas this one just feels like a Valentine's card that you just kind of just rip apart, pretty much. Does it really matter? No, not really, because these are trash at the end of the day anyways. But I will say when you're opening the packs and you're trying to be as delicate as possible, these do catch. These will catch on your packs as you're pulling out. So I would suggest just rip the wrapper completely off if you wanted to make sure that there's absolutely no chance of your cards getting damaged. Rip the pack completely open. This one you can just open very neatly on the top, slide it out, and there's not really a problem because it just doesn't catch. I will say between the two, cardboard wise, they actually feel relatively around the same, with this one being slightly, ever so slightly thinner. This feels a lot thicker overall. Does it matter? Not really, but hey, if we're just comparing the two. The most substantial difference, I would say, actually comes in the wrappers of the pack, which is very interesting up until now because the wrappers on this series right here, the 0034 series, is so much more clear and also has a hint of foil to it. So if you're swinging the packs around, they're actually a lot more foil. and it looks so much more clean in terms of imagery than this one right here. This one right here has the imagery on there, and it is still clear, but you can see that this one is just way more sharper. Look at between the two. This one is just way more sharper. This one also does not have as much foil on it. When you're switching it, it's almost like there's no foil on there. You can tell that there's like a hint of foil on it just because the wrapper on the inside is basically foil. But yeah, there's almost no shine to this one. It is also substantially darker in coloration. It's a lot more dull in coloration, whereas this one is extremely vibrant, pops, crisp, clear. Okay, so I would say for the packs on this one, this manufacturer did a good job. This one fell short. Now let's look at the two cards between the two series. And as with the packs, the clarity and the depth of color is so much better with this one. This one actually felt like they didn't cheap out on the ink. They actually went pretty hard on the ink, and their printers are a lot more clean for sure, because the pictures are a lot more crisp overall. So they did that one good. So their printing quality and their printing coloration is really good. Whereas this one right here, this side right here, follows very much like the pack. It kind of cheaped out and thinned out on the colors a little bit, so this one feels a lot more faded. It also does not feel as vibrant as the other one. When I say vibrant, I mean just the deepness of the color. Like, this is so much more darker than this one. So to me, it kind of feels like they cheaped out on the coloration between these two. Okay, so let's have an executive summary of what we just talked about. Between the two boxes, in terms of the overall quality, I would say pretty much the same. I will note that the pull tab on this one is easier than the pull tab on this one. This one, the pull tab is basically glued on, so this is a useless pull tab in my opinion. Okay, between these two kind of extra insert cards, I actually prefer this one. I feel like to open a pack and to drag it out and to be delicate about the packs, this is so much better having the curved or the curved corners. I also think that the quality between the two card stocks, this one feels better too. So this one wins. Okay, so I would say 2 points so far, right? One point here, 1 point here, 0 points there. Now here's where it gets interesting. With the packs, between the two wrappers, if I were to choose one, hands down this one. That's not even a thought. Like, it's that much better that I would 100% think that these packs just look so much more crisp, and I like the shininess of this of these packs. So this one definitely wins out on that. So 1 point over there. In terms of the print quality, in terms of the overall print quality, I would say that this one is better. I would take this one. I think it's a lot more clean. I think it's a lot more deep in color. Definitely looks aesthetically more pleasing than the other one. So 1 point over there. So we got 2 points over here for these and 2 points for over here. Now the question is, if you were to choose between these two, which one would you take? Well, this one, the manufacturer is actually known to have shuffling problems. Now, that's bad. You can have really, really good quality print, but if you're not going to hit your legendaries and you're not going to hit your super rares enchanteds, which is basically what everyone is buying these boxes for, what is the point of having better looking product? You can have the best looking product in the world, but if you're not going to pull it, it doesn't matter how much better it is, right? So that is a huge, huge detriment to the possibility of using this particular manufacturer, right? This one, the coloration and the overall packs kind of feel like it was maybe an afterthought in terms of printing, but in exchange, your statistics or your metrics are intact. So you will get your legendaries, you will get your, foils. So to me as a collector, and to me as anyone just buying a booster box, that matters more to me than the quality of the print. So if I were to choose the two, equal score on each, print quality better here, extra stuff better over here, I would actually just go with this one, even though it's just the extra stuff that excelled, primarily and only because of the shuffling component to this, right? When I was opening up this particular case, I was like, oh my god, am I gonna get a dud box? And like, it was a dread. Every single box I opened up, I was like, okay, is this box gonna not have any legendaries? And statistically, that case, I probably just got a bad case. In all honesty, I probably got a bad case. Was really bad. That was just a horrible, disgusting case. This one was also very bad too. But I think the metrics hit right on point, right? And you could watch the videos of the opening to kind of see what was in each of these boxes. Okay, so that's kind of a quick review between the two print runs and the two printing companies. Go ahead and decide for yourself which one you want to use, but be very careful. I will say that these cases do not indicate what the serial number of the actual boxes is. It would help if your LGS actually opened up one of their cases and can show you a opened like booster box from there, so you can get a rough idea of what to expect in terms of what you'll get inside. I don't know, I'm not a data engineer. Maybe somewhere around the line the internet can kind of backwards engineer to see what's inside, but you can see this box does not have any indications of the serial numbers on your booster boxes, and once you crack a case, right, the value of that substantially changes. So be very careful as you're buying these, because they all look the same in terms of the case, but inside the booster boxes will differ. Okay, hope that helped. Follow for more.